I had a chicken tender thing from Burger King, and we were recording Rise Against's first record at Lafayette, Indiana, at Sonic Iguana Studios, and I opened up the chicken tender thing, and it just looked disgusting, and I threw it out, and that was it.
It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
And here we are in Downers Grove, Car Con Carne, the world's only food podcast recorded in a car. My guest sitting shotgun this week is Joe from Rise Against. Joe, you picked this place. Where are we at?
Yeah, we are in Downers Grove, Illinois, a suburb of the fine city of Chicago, and it's my favorite pizza place in the western suburbs, Dan's Pizza.
It is totally nondescript.
Yeah, absolutely.
I drove past it. I had to turn around in a cul-de-sac down the street. Because went right past it. It's in this kind of quiet, we'll say, strip mall. There's a chop suey place, a cameo barber shop, where I bet not many cameos happen.
No. Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't really know. I saw the name just over the years, and I was on my way to the city, so the highway's right, 2 seconds that way, and I was like, oh, pizza by the slice, I'm hungry, I'll get a slice for lunch. And it reminded me of the pizza I had growing up in Melrose Park. So good.
Well, when I worked in Addison for about a year, and I learned pizza places out here are the best because they all have like the same deal, like a slice of pizza and a soda for $5.
Yep, totally.
Every one of them. It's the deal of the century. Yeah. You can't find that in the Loop or anywhere near the city.
Yeah, it's definitely a good deal, and it's easy. It's just you can just swing on in, and you're off doing whatever you're doing.
See, I let you pick the place. Are you still straight edge? Like I worried that we'd be going for like quinoa.
Well, I would have suggested Downers Grove actually had a raw restaurant called Borrowed Earth, and the owners decided they wanted to play the bongos, so they abandoned the business and started traveling literally to Arkansas. They literally left. A liquidation company came in and cleared out the place like a couple weeks ago.
That has to be the only story of its kind in history. Yeah. That someone gives up a business to go play the bongos.
And no joke, originally they were trying to give away the business through a contest through the Tribune. And it didn't quite work out because you can't just win a business. You have your creditors, and you know what I mean. You have to have good credit and vendors. And
there's a complex series of things behind that need to be worked out. Yeah. The only time I saw the Grateful Dead, back when the Grateful Dead was the Grateful Dead, I went to, it was the World or the venue in Tinley Park.
Oh, right.
Mid-show, drum circle broke out on the lawn. There were bongos, all kinds of percussion instruments. Killed it for me. I went back home about halfway through. I just realized, not my scene.
Yeah.
That's my only bongo-related story.
I would feel out of my element for sure in that scenario.
You would have no business there.
No.
All right, let's start eating, and I want to talk about Rise Against and your history and all that. I got pizza bread.
Pizza bread's always amazing.
All right. Everything smells ridiculous. That sounds great on mic, by the way. You have no idea. Remember, Joe, I used to work for a radio station. Now we're recording in my car.
But this is a very unique experience.
It is.
Musicians will always remember this. It's like...
Radio stations are a dime a dozen.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys still do radio?
We do, although I would say... Thank you. I would say the days of playing acoustic at like 6 a.m.
Right.
are gone. But interviews for sure. We do. We realized one day, like, wait, we don't have to get up at the crack of dawn on tour to do this stuff. Like, it could happen in the afternoon if the radio station would accommodate that, and most of them will. You know? Or we always try to, like, incorporate some sort of, like, a charity thing with a radio promo where, like, we did a Habitat for Humanity thing in Sacramento, like, things like that. Where we were there trying to build a house, and you don't want us doing that.
I love the fact that you guys have ethics and a stand and a position. Besides the songwriting, besides the playing, that's what makes Rise Against so interesting and appealing.
Thank you.
You build community around what you do. I think that's amazing. Do you feel a sense of purpose or determination around this year's election as a band?
Well, yeah, it's interesting because, I may be the least. I'm a political person, but I'm the least detail oriented, and that sounds like a cop out. As far as as far as following all the candidates, I am definitely like a Bernie fan for sure. But this election to me I feel like I'm watching like an Onion production unfold. It's like, what the hell's going on? It's embarrassing.
I would imagine Tim is probably pretty fired up too.
Absolutely.
Like as a songwriter, as a lyricist, I would think that, wow, this is going to send me up to the attic to write for a little while.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, that's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, well, now that when Obama got elected, they're like, what are you going to write about? I'm like, first of all, like, there are always things to sing about. I mean, that's a very narrow-minded, I guess, point that they were saying. But it's like there are always wrongs in the world, right? That we feel need exposure. So it's not our job, but it's just ingrained in us growing up in the punk rock community, where you're exposing things you feel are wrong, and that's what we've been doing for going on 16 years.
That's fantastic. And please eat. I'm making you talk, but I want you to eat too.
Oh, believe me, I'll get in there.
All right. Are you one of those guys who has a freaky metabolism? You can eat all this pizza?
No.
Okay, good. Talking about coming up in the punk rock scene, how much did your experiences in Chicago as an independent punk rock artist help you or teach you as you navigated through becoming the huge band that is Rise Against?
I think when I started going to shows at a pretty young age, like I think my first show was in 1989 at the Vic. It was the Bad Brains, and it was right when I think I was 12 or 13. No, I was 13, and I remember from even back then, I was always checking out who was promoting what show, what kind of promoters were doing, certain, shows. Like Sean Duffy was around back then doing Last Rites Productions, and he always booked the hardcore bands and punk rock bands. Matt Nelson started doing shows in Palatine, and then he was doing shows in McGregor's and Elmhurst. And so I guess I always paid attention to like that side of it, and I was always intrigued by how bands even got to Chicago. Who was, how did that even happen, that process? But that carried over into when I started 88. I was always the guy sending out demos to labels I saw in Maximum Rock and Roll.
88 Fingers Louie.
88 Fingers Louie. Like, well, and it's like Maximum Rock and Roll. Those zines were, they were so important to learning about touring and bands in different regions. And I feel like kids are missing out a little bit on that kind of vibe,
Yeah, I kind of assumed that zines would eventually all make their way online, but the internet it's kind of a black hole. They don't exist. There are people still doing zines.
Yeah.
But by and large, from what I've seen, less so about music and it's more, the zines I run across are artistic or creative writing.
Right. Yeah.
Because I remember the zine scene, as it were, was huge in the 90s.
Way huge. You walk into Reckless Records, they had a whole rack. A crazy rack of, really cool stuff. You could spend hours looking at them.
What was the first record you ever bought?
It was AC/DC Highway to Hell with my own money.
That's fantastic.
First punk record, Ramones' Subterranean Jungle.
Like how you had to qualify first punk record.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with AC/DC.
No, they're great.
I've said this before, but as a kid growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, this group of not necessarily attractive guys singing about getting laid, having a good time. That was the beacon. Like there was hope for everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
If these guys are having the best time ever, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And Highway to Hell. I remember when I was a kid, I cannot find this to save my life. There was a concert movie, an AC/DC concert movie. I think it was Let There Be Rock. And I think it was like the Highway to Hell tour. They showed it in theaters. Like really? I remember going to the Old Orchard Theater in Skokie to see the AC/DC concert movie. It's probably, I probably haven't looked hard enough on YouTube, but it's out there. But I love it. 3 chords, songs about getting laid.
You know what? And that right there, I think, makes a great song. The when music is simplified, those tend to be the best songs.
Well,
for
those
me.
riffs. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean they're unforgettable. It's like the AC/DC 3-chord riff, the Tom Petty 3 chords, the Ramones 3 chords, timeless.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you should tell Tim to write more songs about getting laid.
I was gonna call him after this.
Yeah, I don't want to get in his business at all, but if you want Rise Against to go to the next level, whatever stratospheric level that is, songs about getting laid.
Yeah, maybe Dennis may have covered that in 88 Fingers Louie.
I think that's true. I want to bust open the pizza. I don't know. This is a first. We have a 16-inch cheese pizza in the car.
So one of us is going to be wearing one of these pieces.
Dude,
at some
I'm
point.
always wearing something home from this. Oh, that is a work of art.
I mean, it's flawless.
It is. This is like physics trying to bend the cardboard back. Thank you for your help.
Yes.
Oh my God, we did it.
We
did it.
My 5-year-old
Achievement
daughter.
unlocked.
Yeah, we gotta do this. You know, it's funny. I've been coming here for a couple years now, and they were so cool that the son of the owner is a fan of Rise Against, huge fan, and never mentioned he knew who I was, and I thought it was great. He never said anything to make me feel weird or anything, and then
Am I making you feel weird?
No.
Oh, yeah, you're here because you are in Rise Against, right?
I thought I was here because I have a part-time job at Home Depot.
That makes you a good person to know, because I never know where the hell to go when I walk in there. It's just too big, and I'm always too embarrassed to ask.
My ADD kicks in immediately when I walk into Target, Home Depot. I'm literally there for 3 hours. My wife's texting me, "Where are you? Get home!" Like,
I went through that this weekend. I went grocery shopping at Mariano's
right
by myself. It's a big store.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they make their own caramel corn here. That's great. And gelato station. Oh, come on. Hey, craft soda. I would love that kind of root beer. That looks delicious. I sound like I'm 13 years old right now telling you this story.
No, that's how I went. All the new Whole Foods have similar. They even have a bar. The new Whole Foods in Westmont or wherever it is. There's a bar in there. It's like, whoa.
Mariano's has a bar too, and the shopping carts have the drink holders. And you see people walking around with pint glasses.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. They actually have a vegan menu at the Mariano's. One of the ones in the city. They have a vegan menu that you can buy whatever, which I thought was awesome.
So being on the road, see, I remember I was a vegetarian for many years. And I got to the point, especially after I had kids and just as life got busier, it was harder to be a good vegetarian. I found myself doing things like eating cheese pizza because it was just the easiest non-meat thing to do. Is it hard when you're on tour?
You know what? When I first became vegetarian, it was about 15 years ago. And back then, it was pretty difficult. You had Subway. You had the shitty veggie burger from Burger King, which is just awful.
I've had it.
And then you can get a grilled cheese or something from Checkers or whatever, which is terrible. But now you have Chipotle. You have countless sandwich places that are pretty healthy. You could do like sushi, Thai. It's everyone kind of has like an option. Noodles and Company, things like that.
I'm turning on the cold air, by the way. I don't know if you're warm.
I am
I'm dying.
warm. Yeah.
It's the middle of winter. Let's get that AC going.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I would say like a lot of people ask me that. They're like, touring, it must be really hard. It's like, not in 2016.
That makes sense. Now, did you stop eating meat out of ethical concerns, or was it a health thing? Both?
For me, it was ethical. Even now, I definitely do not eat as healthy as I should. But yeah, back then, I remember I was getting tattooed at a place called Guilty and Innocent, which Kim Tsai, who was on LA Inc., but Kim used to work at Guilty and Innocent. She's an old friend of mine. She had PETA pamphlets at that shop way back then, probably 23 years ago. And they were pamphlets about testing on rabbits. And I remember thinking, like, this is messed up. So then it kind of like was in the back of my mind, and 3-4 years went by, and I was like, I just can't do it. I had a chicken tender thing from Burger King, and we were recording Rise Against first record at Lafayette, Indiana, at Sonic Iguana Studios, and I opened up the chicken tender thing, and it just looked disgusting, and I threw it out, and that was it.
Never looked back.
Never looked back. Never regretted it. Never missed it. That was it. And also, I mean, there were, countless hardcore bands that I would go see where there were tables at the merch tables. They had literature, Mercy for Animals from Chicago, and things like that. So I would always read that stuff, and it was definitely sinking in.
Thinking about the live show and the state of business in 2016, it seems to me the live show is more important than it's ever been. Because the actual selling product, that's a small part of what keeps a band afloat these days. I mean, it really is all about going on the road, getting in front of people.
Yeah.
Even at your level, I would assume.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, last year we toured more than the last 4 or 5 years, probably. We still love to do it, which is a good thing, right? And we felt like we were neglecting a lot of fans in various corners of the globe, and
it's got to be hard.
It is. It's hard to accommodate, or not accommodate, but it's hard to I guess accommodate the fan letters from, say, like Russia or Singapore, where it's pretty expensive to go there, mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, we have pretty dedicated fans there, so we're always trying to make an effort, squeeze everyone in, and but yeah, touring is definitely more important now than ever, because people, you can't steal a live show. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't experience that energy. It's only at that venue. Mm-hmm. You can't download it. So I don't care if someone's going to download a record, whatever, but definitely support live music. That's key. That's what keeps all these bands going.
And you guys figured out how to do the live thing a long time ago.
You've got to try. That was just us trying to mimic the energy that bands like the Bad Brains and Sick of It All put forth, and Naked Ray Gun. It's like Naked Ray Gun was such an anomaly. They didn't really move, but they had such a presence. Like, it was like, how'd they do that? I wish I could not move and have that, like, commanding effect.
There are a couple bands from that general era. I think of Motorhead, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a very physical band on stage, but you went to a Motorhead show and it was, holy crap, this is Motorhead.
Yeah, it just hits you like a sledgehammer.
And yeah, you're right. Same thing with Ray Gun.
Yep. Ray Gun, Pegboy, even Bad Religion. Mm-hmm. It's like, but those bands, even to this day, they still put on great shows.
You mentioned Bad Brains, which was the first show you ever went to.
Yep.
And you mentioned them again. Isn't it interesting how things we do when we're younger leave such an impression, make such a mark, that you're still talking about it? What else do you remember from when you were first kind of figuring out, okay, I can play, I want to be in a band? What else do you remember from those days? Was it optimism? Was it cynicism? There was a lot of that around then.
For me, it was boredom. I was so invested in skateboarding, and then this older kid I skated with, he hung out with this dude, and his younger brother came by this mini ramp that I was skating, and so the older guys were like, hey, you should hang out with Nick's brother, Dom, because he has similar musical tastes. So Dom came over, and he goes, can you play an instrument? I'm like, not really. I go, there's an acoustic guitar in my house I kind of mess around with. He goes, well, I'm playing drums in this new band, and I have a bass you can have, and you just want to start playing bass?
So just a hand-me-down.
Literally,
that got you started.
Hand-me-down. I had no intention of playing an instrument ever. And it was just literally, I was bored, and I was like, yeah, I'll try it.
One of those moments in history that just... It took a turn in one direction and it changed your life, truly.
Yeah, I owe where I am now to Dom, and Dom was the first drummer of 88 Fingers Louie. We learned how to play instruments together. We discovered all those old bands together, and it was just literally, I was just at my friend Gary's house skating his mini ramp, and life changed forever.
Tell me about, you left 88 Fingers Louie to go all in with Rise Against.
Yeah, well, actually, we 88. We went through a couple of years of, Dennis wasn't sure if he wanted to commit to full time and touring and this and that.
And by his own admission, I think he said he was a pain in the ass back then.
He was, and I love him for it. But I remember we were literally on our way to Wyoming to meet AFI for a tour, and No, we were on our way to Portland, so we stopped in Wyoming at a Denny's to get food, and I could tell his heart wasn't in it, and I just couldn't be on stage with that vibe. So I said, if you're not into it, I quit, and then we drove home, and it was really uncomfortable.
How far away did you have to drive?
Wyoming to
no,
Chicago.
No.
It was the most uncomfortable van ride I've ever been in.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, and but Dan from 88 Fingers Louie and myself, we wanted to continue where we left off, and we started Rise Against. And John, it was originally Rise Against was going to be John from 88 Fingers Louie. It was Dan and myself. We were just going to find a different singer, and John decided to do the college thing. So Dan and I, we ran into Tim. I knew Tim from his old band Baxter.
Yeah.
I ran into him in Indianapolis at a Sick of It All AFI show, out of all places.
I love that.
Yeah, and I go, hey, you have a really cool voice. Like, would you want to try out? And he did. And then we had like this rotating door of drummers. This people like just they couldn't play like fast and they couldn't do this. So and then we found Brandon through mutual friends, and he was from Denver. He moved here to be in a band that no one ever heard of.
That's going all in. That's commitment. That's what you're talking about. That's what led you to say no to 88 Fingers Louie. You want to see that conviction, that commitment. Yeah, absolutely.
It was important to me. The sincerity, the integrity, that is first and foremost. Even to this day, it's like I wouldn't do Rise if I wasn't proud of the music we were writing. I can't fake it.
Is it still fun?
Yeah, absolutely. Traveling with having a family at home, extremely difficult.
I'm sure.
Playing shows, still amazing. We still get that same rush.
I'm sure it's euphoric.
Yeah, absolutely. That hour and a half every night makes it worthwhile.
So, you guys did first couple albums, then the floodgates open. All of a sudden,
yeah. What's hilarious is I was still living with my mom. And I came home from a European tour.
Wait, but Joe, please eat some pizza.
I'm still a non on this thing.
I feel like a bad host.
No, you're fine. You don't want me talking and eating because I'll be spitting food all over your car. I'm Italian, so
Fair enough.
So we were on a tour in Europe. It was a Fat Records tour because we were on Fat Records at the time. It was us and the Mad Caddies and the Lawrence Arms and a band called the Flipsides. I got home, and there was a message from an A&R guy on my mom's answering machine looking for me. And I was like, that's weird. The guy from DreamWorks Records called my mom's house looking for me. So I called him back, and we started meeting with this guy, and then we started meeting with other labels, and things kept snowballing, and we ended up signing to DreamWorks, which kind of morphed into, Geffen bought DreamWorks, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, and we stayed on Universal up until last year. We had a 5-record deal, did all our records. It was a great experience, and now we're on Virgin Records. Mm-hmm. It's crazy though that it worked out, and all of our friends that were signing at the time, we opted for less financial reward and total creative control, and I think that was a great decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and that is a long-term, big-picture way to look at things.
Yeah, absolutely.
No quick fix. Yeah, if you need to live with your mom for a little while longer,
yep,
that's fine. Your art is yours.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I think, we've never demoed for a label, ever. Actually, we did for Fat Records. We've never demoed for a major label, ever. We handed in a complete record, and they put it out whether they liked it or not, and luckily it did well for them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, you're here, we're sitting here in a parking lot of a strip mall.
Yeah.
There's the Kids Cuts over there, and there's a spa and wellness studio. Did I catch you at a rare downtime? Like, shouldn't you be recording or touring or doing what bands do?
You definitely caught us at, we got off the road in December, so we're getting reacclimated to civilian life. I've been writing songs on my own in my basement. I have a little studio down there.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure Tim has been doing...
We should have recorded there instead of the car.
Yeah, you are more than welcome to come down there. You might get a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old jumping on you. But
been there.
All right. My kids, by the way, not kids that I'm keeping down there.
That would just be weird.
Yeah.
The show is being recorded.
Yes, absolutely. Other than writing just songs whenever I have time, we're hanging out at home. going to see shows. I'm hoping to see Killing Joke tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah. I've never seen them live, and I love that band.
I'm going to Slayer next week.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that show.
Slayer and Testament.
Is that no, is that Riv?
Riv. I have a hard time with the Aragon.
Me too. It's a hard venue for loud music.
Yeah, you just cross your fingers and hope.
Yeah. Well, I will. I'm willing to bet I will be at the Testament Slayer show because, truth be told, Testament they were one of my favorite bands growing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw them twice at the Vic in high school.
And that to me, not a terrible surprise. I think we, as in everyone, we're omnivorous. I mean, yeah, you are Joe. You're in this punk rock band. You've been in punk rock bands, but that's not all you can possibly listen to.
Right. No.
I bet if I were to look at your phone right now, I'd see a lot of stuff that would make me raise an eyebrow.
Tons of 80s pop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love pop music. I've always been like this, so it's not because I'm a bass player. I'm very rhythm-driven kind of guy where the bass is carrying the melody of a song. Echo and the Bunnymen's a great example. The Cure is a great example. U2, old U2. That bass is kind of holding it down, simple guitar.
You just described my high school years.
Yeah, I mean...
That's the Holy Trinity right there.
And those songs just stand up. They're great songs.
There are still several Echo and the Bunnymen songs that give me chills.
Yeah? Oh, he's such a good songwriter.
That voice, everything, just the way they cast a mood and a vibe.
Absolutely. And it's a crime I haven't seen them live. Every time they play Chicago, I'm on tour. Every time.
I saw them at Riot Fest.
Yeah, I was literally gone the day they played, and then I was home the next day.
Figures. You know who else I've just reinvested enthusiasm for is the Psychedelic Furs.
Richard Butler's amazing.
That voice, the horns, and the sax.
Yeah. You know, apparently Mars from Psychedelic Furs went to my high school in River Grove.
Right, because he, I guess most famously, on a local level, kicked off Liquid Soul.
Yep. Yeah, my friend Brian was the MC for Liquid Soul.
There you go.
Yeah, best friend, one of my best friends. Great band. Great band.
Oh, super great band. Anyone else famous go to your high school?
There is a guy who's on the Chicago Bears, and I don't watch football, so I can't tell you who it is. But he went there.
You should reach back out to him. Say, I saw the Will Smith movie. I'm concerned.
You know what? I did see that movie, and I really am. I'm like, that's scary. It's a scary thought.
The movie ends with that statistic. What was it, like 1 out of every 4 players, no matter what position they play or how much they play, will end up with this?
Yeah, and all that did, it ensured my kids will never play football.
I agree. And what else was interesting about that stat, it came from the NFL's actuary. So one of the NFL's people says that. So imagine what an outside third-party person might say.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And Will Smith was amazing in that.
So good. He's a great actor.
He is. Watching the movie, I had to remind myself it was him. He was so good at the way he carried himself. He transformed himself into that doctor.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And I think I was wondering if this guy, the guy walking up to the car or whatever, I was wondering if he was like going to knock on the window and ask why we're hanging out here with a microphone. But
I got to be honest with you. I'm surprised people don't do that more often.
Oh, yeah. He's a delivery guy, by the way, for the pizza place.
This really is your place.
Yeah.
This is your spot. Yeah, I'm surprised more people don't say, what's going on? Are you...
Yeah, why are you guys here? Like, what are you doing?
Hey, what are you doing to the Rise Against guy? Is he trapped? Is he allowed to speak? Is he okay?
Speaking of which, without fail, if I'm at a Target or whatever, more times than not, I'm buying diapers for my kid, and that's when someone sees me and wants to take a photo with me, and I'm holding diapers. More times than not.
But that's probably better than toilet paper.
Yes, I think so.
Or douche.
Definitely. Don't catch me buying douche. Yeah, no, I think one, it's cool that people know the band, right? I mean, I'll never be bummed at that. Obviously,
that's just it. I mean,
I can't be mad at somebody for wanting to take a photo. I was growing up, I wanted to do that. I saw Jay from Bad Religion at Diversity Bowl one night, and I punished him for like an hour, and then years later we became super good friends, and we laugh about it.
So you just like kept talking, like,
yeah.
Remember on that tour or that album, or what do you think about?
Yeah, what were you thinking when you wrote the bass line for now I'm drawing a blank, but there's a few songs on Against the Grain that the bass lines really they stick out. And now that I'm in a band, looking back, it's like you can't remember 15 years ago, but he was so cool. And you know what he said? He goes, "I'm just a guy like you that loves punk rock music. We're all in this together. We're all fighting them outside." And I was like, that stuck with me to this day. Like that, he said that. It's like it's amazing. He still feels it, like why he got into that music. It's great.
That is. All right, so you're writing, and then we'll see you back on the road at some point.
Yeah. We are playing a few festivals in the summer. One of them is near Chicago. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say where yet, but look on riseagainst.com coming up. I don't know if it's announced yet or not.
Is it the Rolling Thunder, the country festival out in Wisconsin?
You
Rise
got
Against
me.
is playing that?
You got me.
It's cool. I've been waiting for that. Can do a little rockabilly thing, maybe? Little Carl Perkins.
Stand-up bass, maybe.
Yes. Oh, my God. I love the stand-up bass. For your side project.
You know what? I have a really weird way of playing bass where I tend to pick up. And Matt Freeman, who plays in Rancid, he's like, you would be good at... There's a whole genre of kind of like psychobilly where people use this technique where they pick up and mute it to get a stand-up bass tone, but it's with a regular bass. And he's like, you'd be perfect at it. So I was like, well, maybe I should look into that as like an alternate kind of, side project kind of thing.
When Tim goes all Mick Jagger and does his She's the Boss album and leaves you behind, you're the Keith, you got to do your Talk is Cheap. And that's the direction you should go in.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this up because truly, Joe, I'm sitting here in front of this pizza. You've got to eat this. The whole idea is we come and we eat food.
We're going to eat food.
I'm just making you talk. All right. Rise Against, we can find you everywhere on the social medias.
Absolutely. All of them.
And you guys are just awesome.
Thank you very much.
And it is Car Con. I think I'm choking on pizza right now. But it's a good kind of choke because it's delicious. Car Con Carne, if you like the show, if you tolerate the show, if you find it mildly amusing, please tell a friend. We're trying to grow this in 2016. We're also on the Twitter at Car Con Carne and carconcarne.com. Joe, you rock.
Thank you very much.